Hello everybody, welcome back to Whimsy Crafter. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, I am going to talk about 5 reasons why you too should get an orchid plant. So if you are interested with the topic of this video, don't forget to stay back, grab that cup of coffee as this is going to be a longish video, and stay tuned to my channel for more. Before I continue, I would like to thank Pots and Petals for being kind enough to send me the beginner's orchid kit so that I can explain this video's content better. So without further ado, let's get on with the video's topic. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video. You can also follow me on my Facebook and Instagram handles @WhimsyCrafter. So like I said, I'm here to convince you with 5 reasons why you too should get orchids in your collection. The very first point that I can think about, and which is also very unique, is the fact that orchids do not need soil to grow. Now, the beginner's kit by Pots and Petals has been sent in 2 parts. This one contains the live plants and this contains the media. So, let me just open up the media for you right in front of the camera to show you why I say orchids do not need soil to grow. You know, most epiphytic orchids that we have around us, they thrive in nature by clinging on to plants. So, obviously, the barks of plants do not contain any soil. Basically, what orchids are, they are a species of plants that do not require soil to thrive, because all they need is to cling on to something, and they derive their nutrition from the moisture, from the weather around them. So, here in this media kit, you can see 2 things. Okay, one is charcoal. One kit here, one part of the kit contains charcoal, and the other part obviously is our good old cocoa coir. Okay, so using these 2, you can easily grow orchids. So this is absolutely soilless, and that is why, even being a soilless media, orchids thrive very well. I have made multiple videos which I link up here in the I button on my orchid playlist, which will show you how orchids grow very easily without any soilless media, without any soil at all. So that is definitely my first tip behind why you should get orchids in your collection. The next exciting point that I can think of while talking of orchids is the fact that you don't need to water them daily, and this is becoming more and more imperative with our busy schedules, our busy lives. Most of us harbor a gardening hobby, but often when we go out on long trips, be it office trips or something pertaining to our work that keeps us away from our homes, and we stay all by ourselves, we come back to dead plants, and that is the most excruciating feeling ever for a hobbyist, for a plant hobbyist, because we consider our plants to be our family members, okay, nothing less than that. Even when family members are present, different plants have different watering requirements. Some of them overdo the care, and excessive moisture or very little moisture kills the plants. So all these problems are obliterated when you have an orchid plant, because going back to the first point, they do not grow in soil. Most of the orchids that are found in common households like dendrobiums, like vandas, like cattleyas, like phalaenopsis, they do not require soil to grow at all. Their media is different, and that means that they can go without watering for days on end, because their media is curated in such a way that it takes care of the watering requirement. Out in nature, just let's be honest, out in nature, the orchids clinging on to trees 60-70 feet tall, who waters them? No one. They require the help of nature. So every time it rains, they get the moisture. Every time, you know, the plant transpires, probably that is why they grow near plants. Every time the plant transpires, they absorb the moisture with the help of the sponge-like velamen that surrounds their roots. So you see, orchids are self-sufficient, and over the course of the years of growing orchids, I have seen that they are the least care demanding plants that you can have in your collection. So definitely the second reason would be that they do not require frequent watering. Once you establish the basics, you will not have to consider watering them regularly or fear that they might die if you stop watering or if you leave them without watering even for a week in your homes. Now the third point definitely is linked to the second point that I just talked of. That is the fact that you can leave them for weeks without watering and they will do fine. And I can vouch for this particular point because I often go on long vacation trips with my husband. Although there are people at home who can take care of the other plants that I have in my collection, I ask them not to touch my orchids, and believe me, when I come back from my trip, they do just fine without any sort of watering. Now, if I am lucky enough and there is rain, because all my orchids are outside, they utilize the rainwater, but even if there is no rain, they do not budge. That is one of the best things about orchids. That is why I constantly keep adding more orchids to my collection. Now, as I am talking to you, I am unboxing this parcel. This particular parcel contains the live plants, and one thing I loved about Pots and Petals is the fact that they prioritize the plant delivery. Because these are live perishable plants, you can see it's mentioned in the box that do not delay perishable live plants, shipped by air and flight. So this came by air and the potting media came separately. So I can easily leave my orchids for weeks on end and they do not budge, and I think that is very, very important and cost effective, because if you keep buying plants and they keep dying on you, how will you feel? So I think this is one of the main reasons behind my insistence on buying orchid plants or adding orchid plants to your collection. Now, as I have already opened the parcel, I can see so many shiny, plump, healthy seedlings. So thank you Pots and Petals for helping me on this unboxing video. There are many plants and all of them come with a tag. Okay, this is a Dendrobium pragon two-tone. Then I have another one here. This is a Dendrobium yellow with a red lip. This one is a Dendrobium Ladawan red. This one is Dendrobium serene chang, and this one is finally Dendrobium Singapore red. 5 plants along with media. This comprises the beginner's kit of Pots and Petals. I will definitely pot them and show them to you. And now let us move on to the next tip behind why I think you should purchase orchid plants. Okay, the next point deals with the financial aspect of buying plants. Whenever we buy plants, we buy it first of all because we liked it at the store on display. Secondly, we think that this plant is going to stay with me for whatsoever reason, forever or for a very long time. And in this aspect, orchids are also winners. I always consider orchid plants to be investments in terms of my gardening hobby, because we know it all that they are quite expensive. They can be rather expensive. They are not barely available at 80-90 rupees per plant. They are rather expensive, and they do justice to that expense, I believe, because they do not need soil. And if you plant them in an inorganic media like I showed you, charcoal and coco coir, there are many other alternative inorganic options that I will talk about in my future videos. They will stay with you forever if you are able to mimic the natural environment or give them basic care. Okay, they will stay with you forever, and forever means a really long time. I learned this from a Disney movie. So they will be with you for a very long time, and as they mature, as they grow, their flowering will increase abundantly. I have seen it with my orchids also. That the right side corner of my terrace is my orchid hub, and the very first orchid I bought about 4 years back, which barely gave me 2 flowers on one stick in the first year, now gives me 3 to 4 sticks at a time. So with maturity, the orchid plants blooming proliferates. So I really consider orchid plants to be an investment, and it's a win-win situation for us all, because they do not die on you, they do not they do with minimum basic care, and they do reward us with flowers which stay for a very long time. So I definitely think this is another reason why you should add orchid plants to your collection. Okay, now for my final verdict on why I think you should buy orchid plants is the fact that orchid plants do not give up on you when you decide to give up on them. And this I can vouch for this too, because there is a video on my channel in my orchid playlist, if you have been following me for a while, that shows you that I had bought one particular orchid and I had experimented with it a lot, and it was on the verge of dying, but it is still alive. I took a few steps which ensured it would bounce back, and it did not give up on me, it stayed with me. So it's almost like a phoenix. Just when it dies, it rises from the ashes, and orchid plants give you time before they die out completely. They give you signs and signals to show you that they are not doing well, they are in stress, and they do not rapidly wilt and dry off, and before long they are gone. It's not how orchid plants work. They show you signs of stress, they give you time to address them, they give you second chances, and I think that is something very important for orchid hobbyists or gardeners or garden hobbyists, okay, because taking care of a plant like a family member for a long time and then suddenly seeing that the plant is not doing well, to slowly losing it is as painful as losing a near and dear one, isn't it? I definitely think so. So I never give up on my orchids. I try till the last pin to revive them, and believe me, they have never given up on me. Yes, there are critical crucial orchids, especially the monopodials, which are more susceptible to getting damaged easily if you try and if you don't really get the conditions right. But if I talk of very basic sympodial dendrobium orchids, they are the stars. I mean, they are fighters, they really hang in there, and they give you a chance to work on them to bring them back. So this is, I think, one of the main reasons why I stick to orchid plants, and I keep adding orchid plants to my collection. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I have tried to combine a different kind of technique in this particular video, just not restricting it to a normal unboxing video like I usually do. I need you to tell me in the comments below whether you like this particular approach of mine. How did you like my arguments in insisting you to buy an orchid and add it to your collection? Thank you so much for watching this video. Go Whimsy.